Hello everyone, I am Shara Gracie Antipuesto, and today we will be discussing about the food and hunger in the Philippines, and the worldwide food production. Without any further ado, let's start.
Every day, we read in newspapers about people dying of hunger in drought stricken places such as Somalia and Ethiopia. We know that these countries are among the world's poorest countries. So, this section talks about how hunger is not only happening in poor countries like Somalia and Ethiopia. Now,
I have a question. Do hunger only function in poverty? Do rich nations experience hunger? Well, unfortunately, yes.
the United States of America is considered by many as one of the richest countries in the world today. Yet, many Americans, particularly in the impoverished areas, suffer from malnutrition. So imagine, even in wealthy countries, malnutrition can exist. Hunger is not only about lack of food but also about inequality and access and distribution. What then is the situation in our own Philippines? Many Filipinos, especially those in poverty stricken areas, are undernourished or malnourished. In 1987, the government estimated that 72% of the Filipino families are below the poverty belt. This only means that many could not afford enough food or a balanced diet. For example, families in rural provinces may eat only rice and salt or dried fish, lacking vegetables or protein. One of the things government did during the Marcos era was to increase rice production as part of the Green Revolution program. The Green Revolution was an agricultural program introduced during President Marcos' time. It aimed to increase rice production through modern methods such as high-yielding rice seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, and irrigation. However, these modern methods required a lot of money. Farmers needed to buy fertilizers, pesticides, and pay for irrigation, which poor farmers could not afford. Instead of helping them, it made them more dependent on expensive farming inputs and loans. Next is the Masagana 99 program. This program was created to encourage farmers to produce 99 sacks of rice per hectare through a credit loan package. Farmers could borrow money and chemical inputs like fertilizers and pesticides to help them improve their yield. Aquino programs, the Rice Productivity Enhancement and Fertilizer Assistance Program. When President Curry Aquino took office, her administration tried to improve rice production again through programs like the Rice Productivity Enhancement and the Fertilizer Assistance Program. The goal was to help farmers by making fertilizers more available and affordable. However, despite these efforts, rice production actually decreased by 100,000 metric tons in 1990. Why? There are several reasons. First is lack of government funding, poor implementation, and natural calamities that damage crops. Also, corruption and inefficiency affected how the assistance reached the farmers. Worldwide food production in current situation. First is the uneven distribution of food. Some countries, like the United States, are endowed with rich natural resources and appropriate technology. While, of course, rich countries like the US have abundant food supply, while poor countries, especially in Africa, suffer from famine and drought. Next is the areas with food production problems. There are places like Africa where food production is a serious problem. In Africa, drought and civil war bring about this problem. Even within one nation, There are areas with plenty and others with none, like Brazil, India, China, and the Philippines. And lastly, importation of basic commodities. Many countries import basic commodities like rice or sugar because they do not produce enough or none at all. The Philippines, although a rice growing country, still imports rice due to economic and environmental problems.
In conclusion, hunger remains one of the most serious global problems affecting both rich and poor nations. Overall, the lesson teaches us that solving hunger is not only about producing more food but also ensuring fairness, accessibility, and sustainability. Every nation must work together to create systems that support farmers, reduce poverty, and make food available to all. Hunger is not just a lack of food, it is a result of inequality that humanity must continue to address with compassion and cooperation. That's all for today's lesson. I hope you learned something new and thanks for listening.